For those that don't know me, my name is Stephen Alexander. I'm COO of IMPA in the UK. So I've been working with the Marine Stores Guide for about 20 years now. And we've got some exciting developments with the data and the use of the data, which we wanted to share with you today. Don's going to do that bit really. So what I'm going to do is just set the scene a little bit about the Marine Stores Guide. I think probably everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say the Marine Stores Guide, don't they? Anybody not know the Marine Stores Guide? Nah. So it's probably the thing that IMPA's most known for around the world. And about 10 years ago, with ShipServ's help, we launched the data. So you can buy the data and put the data into your systems. Well, that's gone very well. And we've probably got about 8,000 ships that are registered with the data on board and in the office. The Marine Stores Guide is not perfect. Probably there's quite a few of you in the audience that might feel that there are some errors and inaccuracies within the guide and have thought maybe what's happening about that. And it's been a little tricky, but we think we've got a solution now, don't we, Dom? Yeah, he nods. So the data could be used by companies, suppliers, and ship owners and managers in their own systems internally. But what was lacking was what we've introduced this year, which is the publisher license. And what the publisher license enables manufacturers and wholesalers, and I can see several in the room, what it enables them to do is to publish their catalogues linked to the Marine Stores Guide code. And that will mean that through their systems and what we're about to present, or what Don's about to present, you'll be able to get much more information, brands, product specifications, charts and graphs from products. It's the missing link that we are now able to provide a solution for. So I hope this will resonate with you and will be of value and interest to your business. And I know it is with some of the people we've been talking to. So that's just setting the scene. I'll hand over to Don.
Thank you, Stephen. So we are indeed excited about this, and we think that we have together found a solution to take a major step forward. So I'd like to start by showing you some numbers. 101, 48,000, 1 million plus, and 4 million plus, and 28%. And I'd like to explain what those numbers mean. 101, that is the combined years of publishing experience between IMPA and ShipServ. IMPA with the Marine Stores Guide, and ShipServ between Pages and its forerunner, which was the Mariner's Annual Ordering Guide. So over a century of experience. There are 48,000 items approximately in the new IMPA Marine Stores Guide. Now, about the same time that we set up the data license distribution with IMPA, we also launched a website which is called the IMPA Web. And you can find it right now for a very short time before it gets updated with the new things if you go to the Marine Stores Guide and you hit code search. And we don't advertise it, we don't promote it, and somehow it gets over 1 million hits a year. It's really astounding the amount of volume that gets for people searching for IMPA codes and products. Now, ShipServ itself, our search engine, which we do promote heavily and advertise, that gets over 4 million hits a year. And finally, 28% of ShipServ's line items carry IMPA reference codes. When I learned that, I was actually astonished. Because if you take the spare parts and the services out, we're talking about probably approaching half of all the line items going through ShipServ have IMPA Marine Stores Guide references. That is really cool. So now, as we know, IMPA is the most complete and neutrally generated source of information on marine stores. Now, ShipServ is the largest collection of manufacturer and distributor specific information. And so what we've always told everybody is when people ask us, well, what's the difference between IMPA and ShipServ? We show them that, and then we say, if you have both, you don't need anything else. Your life is now complete. But the logical question then has been, well, why should a user have to go to two different sources to get this information? Why do I, if I look up the IMPA code in the Marine Stores Guide, why do I have to then go to ShipServ to find out where I can buy it? If I'm looking at a product in ShipServ, why do I have to go to the IMPA Marine Stores Guide to figure out what the code is? Right? That it's a disconnect that's existed. And then finally, how can IMPA move to a crowdsource-assisted evolution of the Marine Stores Guide? Right now, up until now, the entire burden of maintaining the Marine Stores Guide has been on IMPA and its partner Fuji. And everybody in this room and everybody outside this room, the thousands of suppliers and thousands of shipping companies have all this knowledge which can be used to improve the Marine Stores Guide. So how can we get all that knowledge to start to funnel into helping the Marine Stores Guide take the next steps into the future? So what we are introducing, Stephen told you about the IMPA Publisher License, and it allows manufacturers and distributors to publicly map against the Marine Stores Guide database. And it can be used not only in ShipServ, but in their company websites, in printed promotional materials, and on ShipServ as well. With that, we have the new ShipServ hosted IMPA Marine Stores Guide. So the old IMPA web is now being replaced by the new hosted website. So it replaces the old website, and what it does is it leverages the search and the presentation capabilities of ShipServ with the breadth and generality of the Marine Stores Guide, creating what we think is a win-win for everyone. And in so doing, this will encourage more suppliers to map their products to the Marine Stores Guide. Now, it will be shortly available on ShipServ's website. There'll be a link right next to our search box that's going to show that, and you'll see it momentarily. There will also be a link from the marinestoresguide.com website and in ShipServ on board. So very shortly, this is what the ShipServ homepage is going to look like. And you see up at the top right, it's the link to the Marine Stores Guide. And so when someone clicks on that, they're going to be taken to this IMPA page. And let's take a look at some items. Let's take a look at, for example, at safety equipment. And then drill down on life jackets and life buoys. And now we see a beautiful representation of the IMPA database. And if you've seen what the old IMPA web used to look like, it had no pictures, the descriptions were short and limited. So this is really nice. But then the critical thing is that when we find an item that we like, we click on details. And now this happens to be a fairly simple product in terms of description. If there was more information, it would appear here. But now what we see are companies who have linked their catalog to this item. And what this shows is what the supplier part number is and the unit of measure, how the supplier describes the item, and if the supplier has provided a product spec sheet, it shows up at the top, and if we mouse over it, it enlarges. Now, we've taken some inspiration from Amazon here. Okay, everybody here has used Amazon, yes? Right? When you go to an Amazon page and you find a product, if you scroll down, the first thing you see is people who bought this also bought, right? And so if we take a look at this page, this sheet, if you have a man overboard marker and a life ring, those kind of go together, right? First you need one and then the other. But they can group anything on there. But then, if you keep scrolling down on Amazon, you see the detailed product specs. And on a page like this, they can put all of the important details of this item, and some of them can be quite extensive. Now, if you still want more information, you can actually view the item in the supplier's catalog. And now we're taken to the supplier's detail, where we can see all the information that the supplier wants you to know, including the spec sheet. Now, what you've noticed now is that the left side of the screen has changed, right? This is now the drill down that you would get if you worked from the supplier side. So if you went into ShipServ and you chose Datrex, and you started working through, and you came to this life ring, you would get to this spot with the IMPA reference. So you as a user, you'll be able to come from the specific side and find out the general reference for something, or you can come from the general side, which is the IMPA, and find the specifics. And the process that's now going to result from this is that as the suppliers do those mappings, they're going to say, but wait a second, what about these 5 products? Or what about the fact that this IMPA code really refers to 3 things and not 1? And here are the 3 products. And what we will be able to do is we'll be able to facilitate the conversation back to IMPA and say, here's what suppliers are telling us, and that will help with the evolution and migration of the Marine Stores Guide, so that the pace of improvement will hopefully pick up, and it will become even more relevant, even as it retains the general neutral nature as the source of information for consumables. I would like to thank Stephen and Susan for this 18-month journey that we've been on. That this is the launch of it. It's been it's been exciting, and we look forward to even more exciting times as this now goes forward.